Quick disclaimer for this week's episode, everyone. As we're recording, there seems to be the world's biggest storm taking place in Adelaide. So,
like, it's actually hailing outside.
So if you hear lots of wind, thunder, hail, whatever, just take it as a nice, relaxing experience.
Or if you get real sleepy suddenly, you're welcome.
I mean, me on a good day. Anyway.
Like, this is perfect rot weather, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to go home. But, alas, we persevere.
We're back. Hey, guys.
With huge news.
Back on the couch. It's our first birthday.
Oh.
Hey.
We're one.
We're 12 months old.
That's crazy. I can't believe we've committed to this or anything for 12 months.
Isn't that bananas?
This and Pilates are our two biggest commitments in life. Besides
Caitlin,
our own friendship.
Before we went to Fiji, she cracked her 100th class. And that's...
Dude, but you've done 200 and something.
Crazy.
That's nuts. Yeah, I can't believe we've done this for a whole year.
I know.
And that people still listen to us after a whole year.
God bless every single one of you. Mwah.
But honestly, like, thank you to everyone for your support.
Big fat forehead kiss. We'd still be doing this regardless, but it's more fun when people get involved.
No, literally. It's more fun when people listen and like interact with us. But yes, if people thought that we did this for money, we don't. We purely just like the sound of our own voices. So unfortunately, you are stuck with us.
Truly, because we do not know how to shut the fuck up. So
there you go.
Clearly, we've been doing this for 52 weeks.
And in the spirit of yapping, we're going to yap again.
Again, from the top. And again. So also this month, guys, we're joining our girly pop, Sazi, Sarah Starkey.
Love a government name. So jarring.
Who is also a Crohn's and Colitis Australia ambassador for the Live Fearless Challenge. So the Live Fearless Challenge is to raise awareness and support to those living with Crohn's and colitis, as well as inflammatory bowel disease. So the Live Fearless Challenge is essentially, me and Caitlin have signed up to Sazi's team. Mm-hmm. So we've signed through the Delulu Diaries because we refuse to do it separately.
Yeah, because we are going to be doing collectively 150 kilometers, whether it's walking or running, throughout the month of September. And that's a lot to do as an individual who spends their life sitting down or laying down.
Horizontal, yeah.
So we thought, we do everything together anyway, so it makes sense.
Exactly. And also, I saw on the website that you can also put like your Pilates classes, one class can equal like a kilometer.
Oh, nice.
So that will tally up as well.
Love that for us.
But in September on Sunday the 15th, they're also, Crohn's and Colitis Australia are also holding a Live Fearless Walk. What is it called? Yeah, the Live Fearless Walk. There you go. And it's just under 4Ks and it'll be going around the River Torrens. So everyone's meeting at 6:45 for a 7 a.m. start on Sunday the 15th, and it's open to everyone. You can bring your kids, you can bring your dogs, you can bring your lizard if you want to. So it would be awesome to have a little gang there.
Let's bring Mark and Jackie.
Yes.
Meet and greet for Mark and Jackie for those who want to meet them. This is us telling them as well.
And
that
Mark
they're
and
coming.
Jackie will also be recruiting for painters for their house. So if you're keen on doing some renos, definitely raise your hand at the walk. But yeah, we'll also talk about it a little bit more close to the date, and we've got the link to our donation page on our Instagram as well.
Yeah, so head to the link in our bio for more information, or if you feel like making a donation. But don't feel like you have to donate either. The main thing is spreading awareness. So if you can't donate, at least just spread the word about Live Fearless and the cause that it's going towards, because it is very important.
Yeah, definitely. And a huge, huge thank you to the Project being our first donation.
Hell
Round
yeah.
of applause.
Gang, gang.
Love, 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 love. So yeah, you don't even have to show your support with a donation. If that's outside of your means, that is totally understandable.
Yeah.
You can show support by reposting Crohn's and Colitis Australia, giving them a follow,
coming to the walk on the 15th of September, or even just getting out and about and going for some steps yourself. You know?
Exactly. Do what you can, my dudes. And also, I would like to note that the first time in the 52 weeks that we've been doing this, I have actually done show notes. So
this is Danika's episode,
this
everyone.
Is so put together. This is crazy.
It's a rare treat for our first birthday.
I know. The gift that keeps on giving. So, pop culture, guys. J-Lo has filed for divorce from Ben Affleck.
Honestly, not surprised.
Yeah, I was just going to say. Are we shocked? Not really. So J-Lo listed the date of separation as the 26th of April. And for a little bit of history, Ben Affleck and J-Lo go all the way back to the noughties. So they got engaged in the 2000s, and then they broke up before they went ahead with the wedding, saying that the scrutiny of the public eye is what made them drift apart. And then in 2002, they didn't get married once. They got married twice. So they had a ceremony in Las Vegas, like a little chapel ceremony. And then a month later, they had another bigger ceremony with family and friends at Ben Affleck's family house in Georgia. Georgia, Texas.
Love that.
Is it in Texas? Or did I just make that up?
Let me check. Let me fact check while you keep.
Georgia.
Keep going.
Yeah, that's all I had on that. I think she's been married like 3 or 4 times now.
Georgia is a state. So, like, the capital city is Atlanta. So
Atlanta, Georgia. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes more sense.
Georgia, Texas.
Same. Damn. Wow. I mean, I only found out that their states are not countries a couple of episodes ago. So wow. Yeah, crazy. End of an era.
Yeah, and the way that she was so calculated with the date that she filed their divorce, it was their anniversary or something.
Was it?
Let me
no
check.
way. Wow, look at us having show notes and fact checking things. That's crazy, guys.
Let me check. It was like Pinnacle. The date was Pinnacle for something. I'm pretty sure. It was, the same day. So the singer officially filed to end their marriage on Tuesday, the same day they had their big Georgia wedding ceremony 2 years ago. Yeah.
That's
so
bananas.
I know. Honestly, not that surprised.
Not knowing a single thing about them and just seeing what was like in the news and stuff, they seem like the most toxic couple.
There's something about Ben Affleck.
There's something about J-Lo.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I feel like...
For me, it's like every time you see Ben Affleck, like photos and videos of him, he looks so miserable every single time. And I'm like, you just don't seem like a fun guy to be around.
That meme of him just like outside that door just smoking.
Yeah.
Iconic.
That's
just him like 24/7.
That's me at 10 a.m. on Tuesday after being back at work for 2 hours.
Literally.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Hot couple.
Oh,
Both
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
so hot in their own right.
Yeah.
But there's just something about them. They just seem so angry when
Yeah.
they're in each other's presence.
Yeah. Literally, like, get the fuck off me before I punch you in the throat. The next thing that I had to talk about was Chapel Roan calling out stan behaviour from her fans.
Yes.
So I think this was last week, but she Chapel?
Yeah.
It is Chapel Roan, isn't it? Because
Yeah.
we have got that wrong before.
Yeah.
Chapel posted TikToks, and she also a couple of days ago posted on Instagram like a little carousel around her experiences with stan culture. So on her TikTok, she poses the question: if you saw a random woman on the street, would you yell at her from your car window? Would you go up to a random lady and ask for a photo with her? And if she's like, no, what the fuck? Then you get mad at this random lady. And she's pretty much just saying that, like, she appreciates her fans and all the people that treat her with respect, but she's not going to stand for people being weird and, like, stalkerish and, like, harassing her family and friends just because people think that it's part and parcel of being a celebrity.
Yeah. Because she rose, even though she's been at this for like 10 years now, her rise to fame was really, really sudden. Pretty much since Coachella earlier this year. Suddenly skyrocketed to fame. And so now she's experiencing everything that comes with that. And she's experiencing a lot of like people stalking her family and like they know where she lives. They know where her family lives. And she's been very vocal about that from the get-go. But she's also been very vocal about, because Chapel Roan is her drag persona.
Yeah.
And she wants to very much separate who she is from her drag persona, and she has said, when I'm in drag, I'm at work.
Yeah.
That's me in the public eye.
Yeah.
But when I'm just like everyday me,
Going to the shops, going to the movies.
like leave me the fuck alone kind of thing. Which I had so many thoughts on this. At first I was like, hang on a second. I totally agree. Like, no one should be stalking you.
Yeah.
People finding where like famous people or influencers live and go to that.
Crazy.
That's so fucking weird. Don't do that. That's so weird. And that's coming from people like we've been in stan culture.
Yeah,
like we've like followed celebrities and all that kind of stuff. Never been in someone's fucking house.
No.
That's weird. Not like following people's families. That's weird.
No.
And so I agree with her with that. And I also agree that like if someone asks her for a photo or, you know, can I have a hug or whatever, and she says no, you can't get mad at that. Like, it is what it is. My initial feeling was, they're your fans. Like, they support you. They're financially supporting you as well. You've got to give fans every now and then the time of day.
Yeah.
But then I was kind of like, she has been very adamant from day one. I want to do music. I want to be a singer. I want to do that. I don't necessarily want everything that comes with that. I don't think she ever was like, I want to be mega famous. I want to be in the eye, all that kind of thing. And I think she's kind of willing to lose it all if it means that she can have the private life that she wants. So in that sense, then by all means, say no to everyone that you want, you know?
I think being a celebrity, I think you should absolutely be able to set boundaries in who you're wanting to say yes and no to those interactions with. Like, absolutely. Like, if I couldn't imagine anything worse than like being at Woolies and like someone just approaching me and like hugging me from behind.
Oh,
immediate like this. No, like, I'm not even joking.
I'd be in the news for abuse.
Yeah,
I agree. I could not cope with the hugging thing.
That's not fucking normal behavior.
No, like, I don't like hugging as it is. And so random people as well started coming up to me, hugging me.
People asking me for a photo when I'm just like out doing like chores and shit. Like, are you joking?
No.
That's not right. So like I can appreciate where she's coming from. But I'm like the same with you. Like, I don't know. It just feels like there's a sense of like, especially when you're an artist, giving back to the people that are supporting you. But then if you think about it in like a different context, like for example, I can't even think of something else that would be similar to that. But like, I don't even know, like someone liking the work that I do in my actual job and then asking me for a photo.
I mean, it's even like this. Like when...
You know what I mean?
We're fucking nothing like... We're basically a fly on a piece of shit, right?
Yeah.
But if we went out and about and people started recognizing us and stopping us, I wouldn't mind it so much if I was with you.
Yeah.
And we were just doing normal things, whatever. If I was by myself, I'd be way weirder about it.
Yeah.
And if people were so insistent on trying to hug me, like, I don't really mind about the photo thing. That doesn't bother me so much. People wanting to hug me, I wouldn't cope. I'd be like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong if you politely go up to someone who is seemingly famous and you're like, oh my God, like, huge fan.
Yeah.
Would you mind if I got a photo? Yeah. Right? That person has every right to say no. If they say no, it's like,
it is
damn,
what
like,
it
that
is.
sucks, but like, no worries, like, go about your day. And then you leave them alone. Don't make a big song and dance about it. But it's also like, read the room. Like, if it's like, if you're out for lunch with your family and people come up to your table and they're like, oh my God, can I get a leave me the fuck alone.
Literally.
But if I'm just like with a coffee walking along Brighton, like, it is what it is. Like, that's not as big of a deal. I think it's a mix of reading the room and also putting yourself in the other person's shoes. And in this unique experience with Chapel Roan, she has been very vocal from day one, like I said, that she doesn't want that aspect of it. And she's willing to kind of get like lose it all to get rid of that. So,
like, I mean, she definitely says like she loves her fans and is appreciative of everything. But yeah, I think like the take home message is just don't be fucking weird. Yeah. Just like, if you wouldn't do it to a random person, why are you doing it to someone that you idolize? That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a time and a place.
Yeah, but like, good on her for setting boundaries though. I think like a lot of people really struggle with that, but feel like they can't say anything because it's almost part and parcel with the job.
Yeah.
And I feel like just because it seems like it's part and parcel with the job doesn't mean that it's okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. Let her live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good on her. Go Glen Coco. That's all I had for pop culture.
Nice. I've been smashing Sabrina Carpenter's album.
Yeah.
Since it came out on Friday. It is amazing.
Did you watch the
I haven't
music
seen
video for Taste?
I haven't seen it, but I've seen like the clips.
Yeah,
I've seen her
same.
and Jenna Ortega kissing. Every song on that album, amazing. Fun fact Friday, and this is all just like
Sabrina
rumors.
and Barry broke up as well, by the way.
Crazy.
Another one.
Right?
It's the season of breakups, I swear.
But also, apparently, a lot of the songs on the album, like Taste, Coincidence, are about Shawn Mendes.
Camila Cabello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has rocked me. So, Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes were like, in terms of them two individually, their relationship is pretty much what they're known for in terms of like relationships. So they were this huge couple for ages. They split up, and then Shawn Mendes and Sabrina Carpenter were kind of dating for a little bit there. And then they split up and he got back with Camila Cabello.
Oh, is that what
Right.
the timeline is? Yeah, right.
Roughly,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
And so the songs, like Taste, it's all about like, if you want him, you can have him, but like you're going to have to taste me too.
Yeah.
And then Coincidence is talking to the guy. So Shawn Mendes in this instance being like, going back to the girl that you said that you outgrew. Now you're back together. Oh, now you're breaking up again. Like it is very much, at least it does sound like it is about Camila Cabello. And then because people were like, well, if someone wrote, I think it's called June Gloom, about me, I'd write a whole album back about them. So Camila Cabello has a song called June Gloom. And I haven't heard it, but I was looking at the lyrics the other day, right? And so it's apparently about Shawn and Sabrina Carpenter. And it's like, if she's so amazing, why are you on this side of town? If you like her so much, what are you here trying to find out? I can't even say the next line. It's like, it's too much.
What do you mean?
Read this.
Bold of you to think that I can read from back there.
Anyway, it's too much.
What do you mean? Hang on.
No, I can't. You need to look it
I
up.
want to look it up. June Gloom.
June Gloom lyrics. And it's
lyric?
basically Camila Cabello being like, you keep saying she's so cool.
Oh, yeah.
And that you like her.
But no, don't say that.
No, but here you are with me and just saying how much she loves this guy. So then Sabrina Carpenter came out and said, well,
you want to play that game? I'll play it better.
Here's a whole
Bitch.
fucking album. Let me get Coincidence lyrics. I was listening to it in the car on the way here. And it's like, she knew she's got a real sixth sense. Now her name comes up once, then it comes up twice. And without her even being here, she's back in your life. Now she's in the same damn city on the same damn night. Where is it? Now she's sending you some pictures wearing less and less because there's rumors that Camila Cabello sent Shawn Mendes, like, I don't know if they're fully nude, but like sexy photos. While
Sexy photos.
sexy photos. I hated saying that. I hated saying that. I hated it. Take it back. Take it back. She sent him those. What else was I supposed to say?
The word sexy
I know,
is just so gross.
I felt 40 saying it. She sent Shawn those photos when he was with Sabrina Carpenter.
Stop.
Right. Anyway, so now she's sending you some pictures wearing less and less, trying to turn the past into the present tense, sucking up to all your mutual friends. And then the chorus is, and you've lost all your common sense. Oh, actually, no, don't worry about the chorus. This bit, the bridge. What a surprise, your phone just died. Your car drove itself from LA to her thighs. Palm Springs looks nice, but who's by your side? Because he was at Coachella with her. Damn it, she looks kind of like the girl you outgrew. At least that's what you said. What a coincidence. You just broke up again. What a coincidence.
Damn, she's good, isn't she?
She's good.
She's fucking good.
Anyway.
Oh,
banger of an album. I love the song Good Graces.
Is that the first one?
No, that was Taste.
Oh.
No, it's like second or third on the album, I think. Where she's like, boy, it's not that complicated. You should stay in my good I don't even know if it goes like that. Love it. That's my favorite one.
Stunning.
But such a good album.
What an album. What
Anyway,
a woman. God bless.
That was all my pop culture news.
Yeah. Good.
Last night, I went to the cinemas with Marky Mark. Because he really, really wanted to see Deadpool versus Wolverine. So I was like, yep, okay, I'll let you pick. I'll let you pick the movie for once. Went to see it with him. Overall, the movie was a good watch. Deadpool's very entertaining, very funny, great. But there was a lot of like breaking the fourth wall moments where they were referencing like the downfall of Fox and how Marvel got picked up by Disney, and then just a lot of that within the film. And at first I was like, oh, that's funny, ha ha ha, but it happened a bit too much, and I was like, okay, like we get it. Not sure. Okay, controversial opinion.
Controversial.
I think I'm not a fan of let's revive dead characters.
No, yeah.
For the sake of a film. Wolverine, I mean, I've never seen the X-Men.
Yeah.
Right? But Wolverine, we don't need to bring him back.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough. Like, I wasn't watching this going, oh, thank God they brought Wolverine back. Wow. This was...
Standing ovation.
This is art.
Yeah.
Right? I was like, they're just bleeding characters. I'm also not a fan of the multiverse anymore. Never really was. But I'm like, I'm sorry, but if you're relying on A, bringing back characters from the dead, and B, just duplicating those same characters across the multiverse, that is not a solid storyline.
It's been done. Let it go. It didn't land the first time.
No.
You know what I mean?
It didn't. And I believe that they should let that all die and introduce new characters. New characters, new universes. Let's do things new. I don't know. Like I said, it was entertaining enough. If you're looking for an easy watch, go and watch it. But
that's it.
I'm not writing home about it.
Yeah, fair.
So it was all right.
Yeah.
I do like Deadpool as a character. I reckon Deadpool would be my favorite out of
Marvel.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not a big Marvel person.
No,
though.
you're not.
So, like, I do like the entertaining element of it.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, the Deadpool movies in terms of, like, they don't compare to the Avengers, for example. Like, the Avengers are just so stacked.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. It was all right. That's all I have to say on it. I'm just not a fan of, like, bringing... Because Wolverine wasn't the only character they brought back from the dead.
Who else died?
Well, just from the entire Marvel universe as a whole, there were characters that I'd never even fucking heard of. Some woman named Elektra or something. Dad was like, she literally had a one-hit wonder and then they killed her off.
Yeah.
And they brought her back in this movie. And
that was a really good TV show though, Daredevil. They're remaking it.
Again.
It was really good.
Let's not remake it.
Let it die.
Do something
Let it
new.
die.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, fair. On our flight back from Fiji though, we flew with Qantas and they had so many more movie choices than Fiji Airways.
Facts.
But it also meant we had to sit next to a stranger while we watched these movies. But that's fine.
They were fine.
But me and Caitlin watched 2 movies on separate screens at the same time, like normal people do. So we watched Monkey Man and then I saw the TV Glow. So I'm going to give you a little bit of info about Monkey Man because I don't know if you know
Okay,
this.
let's kick things off.
So Monkey Man is Dev Patel's directorial debut.
Oh.
So he directed it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Monkey Man stars Dave. Oh my God.
I love Dave.
I love Dev Patel. as this man called Kid, and he's pretty much avenging his mother's death, and finding the people that wronged her and kind of getting justice for it, essentially. So the movie was meant to go straight to Netflix, but after buying the movie, Netflix felt it was too gritty for the Indian market.
Interesting.
So they put it on hold, and then the co-financer or financier, Bronze Studios, went bankrupt. So the movie went on hold like indefinitely because they couldn't fund the movie. But then Dev got Jordan Peele on it through his company Monkey Paw Productions.
Yeah. And
when Jordan Peele saw it, he was like, no, this needs like a theatrical release. Like, it's not going straight to streaming. Like, this deserves time. And that's how it came to be in the cinemas. And like they finished the movie and got it out, and it like went gangbusters in the cinemas.
It was a great film.
It was such a great movie. Like, Indian law is fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Like, just the stories is just absolutely crazy. And this is very much like an action kind of thriller, kind of.
Very gory as well.
Oh my God.
Like the way that they do the action, it's almost kind of camp and theatrical, where it's like very over the top.
Yeah.
Very visual.
Yeah.
But it was so well done. It didn't feel tacky.
Yeah.
It
Kind of
felt
like
perfect.
Indian John Wick.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But
Beautiful
like,
movie.
and but yeah, really well done. The action scenes, like the choreography was unreal, and the soundtrack was an absolute
It actually
banger.
was. Yeah, it was. I remember bopping away in my seat.
Literally.
It was good. Dev Patel, amazing. And the whole time I'm watching it, all I could think about was there was that stint where he was living in Adelaide.
Yeah.
And I would run into him all the time on Rundle Street when our office was down that way. I'd see him all the time. And that's all I could think about when watching it.
Crazy. See, you weren't crazy and fucking stalked him. You just observed from afar like a normal person.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's Dev Patel. What a guy. No, great film.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend people. I recommended this to Dad. I think Dad would love it because it's got 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think deserved.
Yeah.
Coco. I was thinking while we were watching it though, because behind us on the flight were young kids, were sat behind us, like old enough to be able to see our screen and be like, what the fuck?
Understand, what was on it.
And young enough to not be allowed to watch that. And I'm thinking this whole time, like, there were some scenes, I was like, God help the children behind.
Yeah. Sorry.
Watching this. We've just traumatized 3 kids on a flight.
Truly. You just saw a man's nose get bit off.
Sorry about that, my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, unreal movie. Like, yeah. Great. Everyone should watch that. It's a fun watch.
Yes. And then we watched I Saw the TV Glow.
Now, this one's crazy. This was a crazy ride for both of us because at first, like during our first watch on the plane, we were giggling towards the end because we were like, what have we just watched?
So the movie is about, it's a sci-fi, and it's a classmate introduces teenage Owen to a mysterious late-night TV show, a vision of a supernatural world beneath their own. In the pale glow of the television, Owen's view of reality begins to crack. So that's all we knew about the film, and we go into it, and you're watching it, and you're like, it's this weird 80s vibe, just like really quirky. It was almost giving like, did you ever watch Scott Pilgrim Saves the World or whatever it was?
Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yeah, that one. It was kind of almost giving me that kind of vibe.
It was that, as well as like kind of like a crossover with like Jim Henderson, like puppets kind of.
Yeah.
You know, just really, hang on. I don't know if I.
It wasn't making a lot of sense.
No.
It was, when we were watching it blindly, we were like, this is the most cooked film we've ever seen. I don't understand the story.
Mean? Like, very, that vibe, yeah.
I don't understand the storyline. The characters are cooked.
Yeah, it was just a really bizarre watch.
It felt like you had to take acid for it to make sense.
Yeah. And then I was doing the show notes for this week, and I was like, oh, maybe like I'm gonna look on Letterboxd and see what the reviews were and like do a little bit of research on it, because it was done by A24, and like their repertoire of films is like
It's very rare for us to not at least understand the film.
Yeah, unreal. And Vulture did a really great article on I Saw the TV Glow, and they kind of explained the underlying themes of the trans experience of derealization. I did not pick that up from watching it.
But now that when you told me, I was like, oh my God, it makes so much sense.
Yeah. When you go through it, you're like, it's like a light bulb moment. You're like, oh, okay, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, it's like when you know that it's about the trans experience, you're like, oh my God, duh, how did I not pick that up?
Yeah.
But we just didn't at all. And then once you know what the film is about and what it represents, you have a whole new understanding and respect
for it.
It's actually a great film now that we know that.
Yeah,
because
really
it makes sense. It didn't make sense before. And so we were like almost making fun of it because we were like, this just does not make sense. Who the fuck made this film?
And like it was so frustrating because the main character, Owen, he is just like, not like a yes man, but like he just doesn't make a decision for himself, and he's just like unable, like I don't know.
He comes across as a wet blanket.
Yeah, and like he's unwilling to do anything about any situation that's in front of him.
Yeah.
Like
decision paralysis almost.
Yeah, and he there's one point where one of the characters wants to run away, and Owen's like, yep, okay. And they're like, oh, come with me. And I was like, yep, okay. And then like he runs to like this other house and he's like, you need to tell my parents that I'm lying because this bitch is asking me to run away with her and I don't want to do it. But I also don't want to tell her that I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, he's just very frustrating as a character. But then when you like understand the underlying theme of it, it kind of makes more sense as to why he is the way that he is.
Yeah. There were some scenes in the film where, so there's this TV show that him and his friend are obsessed with, and it's about these two girls and they use telepathy to speak to one another and they like fight crime,
fight evil.
Fight evil essentially.
It's like supernatural kind of.
Yeah. And in the film, what's the female lead, she was in Atypical. I Saw the TV Glow. So her character ends up coming out as gay pretty early on in the film, I would say.
Yeah.
What's her fucking name? Bridget Lundy Payne. So her character's name was Maddie. That's right.
Yeah.
So Maddie runs away and then she comes back and she's trying to convince Owen, like, no, we are the TV show.
Yeah.
We're the characters in the TV show. And Owen's like, what the fuck are you on about?
What's happening in the TV show is what happened to us. Like, we're them.
Yeah, and she's like, this
is an alternate reality almost.
Yeah. She's like, we need to bury ourselves to like save ourselves kind of thing. And this is where
real reality,
Yeah, we started being like, what the fuck are you on about? And then there's some like vision of them as the characters in the show, but Owen's character is presenting as a female. And at first when I was watching it, I just thought, because the two characters in the show were female, so naturally they're both going to dress as females. But if you know what the movie's about, it's actually, that's I guess the movie showing you, no, Owen is trans and this is these are I guess Owen's two versions of themselves and the whole we are the show and we need to do this to save ourselves is Maddie being like, we need to be true to ourselves. And how do you say it? Yeah, we need to be true to ourselves. And so you've got to like break through and be who you really are. And Owen's like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I just want to be me. And then Owen, like they make Owen seem like crusty and miserable.
Yeah, like he continues on with like his life and like this reality. And like he's miserable. Like he's at one point he says he's got a family and like kids and stuff, but like you can tell that he's like
he works at a kids playground kind of vibe.
Yeah. And in that Vulture article, I'll just read this quote. It's a little bit long, so apologies, but like it kind of summarizes the whole theme of it. To be aware you might be trans but unwilling to do anything about it is to create endlessly bigger boxes within which to contain yourself. When you're a child, that box might encompass only yourself and your parents. By the time you are gainfully employed and an adult, that box will contain multitudes, and the thought of disrupting it will grow even more unthinkable. So you cease to think of yourself as a person on some level. You think not of what you want, but what everybody expects from you. You do your best not to make waves, and you apologize, if only implicitly, for existing. You stop being real and start being a construct, and eventually you decide the construct is just who you are, and you swaddle yourself up in it, and maybe you die there. There is still time until there isn't. And that's
Beautiful.
literally like the whole, like Owen's whole experience in the film.
Yeah.
Like,
Very well summed up.
Yeah.
Very well summed up.
yeah.
So now knowing what we know, the film's actually amazing.
It's great, yeah.
And I would highly recommend it.
It's great, yeah. And I think the director is also trans.
Yeah.
Which is makes it even greater of a story, really.
Yes. I almost, like, I wish I did know what it was about, because then I could have appreciated the film more when I was watching it.
Yeah.
But then I'm also like, I don't know. I think being naive, watching it, being like, what the fuck? And then knowing about it, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you idiot.
Yeah.
You idiot. Open your eyes.
Think more like critically, please.
Yeah, not everything is just black and white. Sometimes
being a cis dummy is just it's exhausting.
Anyway, so it's a great film.
Yeah. It's really great watch. Like, knowing that context,
Yes.
love it. If you've seen it, I would love to if you want to tell us your input.
Yes.
That would be great. Give us your review. Would love that.
Yes.
'Cause-
I think it would be very easy to watch it without having done research and be like, what the fuck is this about?
Yeah.
And then, but you've got to do your research.
Yeah.
Got to do your research.
100%. Because I heard like people saying that the movie was amazing, and I was like, okay, well, we have to watch it. And then we were like, do we get punked? But no, yeah, great
No, we're
watch.
just idiots.
Yeah,
Turns out
we're just dummies.
we're just idiots.
Yeah,
Yeah, great for both great films.
yeah.
So
10 out of 10. Thanks, Qantas. And then this week on Netflix, we watched a docuseries, 3 parts, so it's really quick to speed through. American Murder, Lacey Peterson.
dude, this shit.
Men, am I right? Cis men.
Fact. So it's about, what was it, like 2002?
Yeah, Christmas Eve 2002, Lacey Peterson goes missing. She's 8 months pregnant, and her husband Scott claims that he was on a fishing trip on the day and came home to find that she was nowhere to be found.
So from the get-go, when
Red
I'm watching
fucking
this,
flag, let's be honest.
right? From the get-go, when I'm watching this, I'm like, it was him.
Yeah.
It's
like,
always,
that loser fucking done it.
it's always him. Okay.
Statistically speaking as well.
Yes, like literally. And I was like, it has to be him. But even though that's blindly obvious, watching it, it's still infuriating because so she goes missing. He reports a missing person.
Before that, he's in the house. He eats pizza. I remember this because of this part. He drinks a glass of milk.
Red flag.
Weirdo.
Red
By
fucking
itself, freak. Has a shower and then calls around to see if anyone's seen her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So her family, his family, the police, they're all doing everything that they can to try and find her. They're doing like you would with the missing persons, where they're doing a lot of like media calls, getting the media involved. He doesn't want a part of it. He's like, no, I don't want the attention to be on me. So he's putting forward other people to do it. That in itself, I wanted to punch him through my TV.
Yeah.
I was like, and the fact that particularly his family and her family, but particularly his, didn't clue on and they weren't like, hang on a second, this is your wife and your unborn child.
Yeah.
And
you're not pressed about it.
you know how important it is to be in the media.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah. And his rationale was like, oh, like the media shouldn't be putting my picture out there. It should be Lacey's. Like, it should be her story, not mine. And it's like, well, that's how you get a story out there, pal.
They're putting your story out there because you're a fucking
Girl.
weirdo.
Yeah,
And
literally.
you are suspicious.
His entire like demeanor and how he went about it is very much similar to Ben Affleck's character in Gone Girl.
Yes.
Like almost exactly the same. And they look the same too.
Yeah. It was so infuriating to watch. And then he's come out with his own doco around the same time.
Yeah.
Where he's come out and been like, I have some thoughts on this.
Now, everybody listen, because now I have theories.
Like,
20 years on, I think I know what happened, and it didn't involve me. Like, what?
Like, how dumb do you think we are?
Come on.
It was you. Like, shut up. You're in prison. Oh, fuck. And the person that I found the most infuriating of it all was his sister-in-law.
Yeah.
In both, I haven't seen his doco, but I've seen clips of it.
Yeah.
She ended up going off and studying to become a lawyer because she was so adamant that he got done dirty and that he's so innocent. And so she became a lawyer to try and help him. And I'm like, girl, you're either painfully so delusional to the point that you need a lobotomy.
Yeah.
Or you're in love with him.
Your mum's your dad.
Well, she's not blood related because she's the sister-in-law.
Oh,
So
is she?
Legally, she could love him and buss him. Okay.
Legally, they could buss. Yeah, right.
The way that they were going to die on that hill, that he was innocent. And I'm like, girly pop, look at the evidence. The evidence says that he's a fucking nut.
Yeah. And he was like a fucking snake. So his side piece, Amber Fry, I think, comes forward as Scott's girlfriend, and like she comes with receipts and recordings and everything.
Love her. Big fan. She's a girl's girl.
Yeah, truly. And claims that Scott explicitly said that he wasn't married and she had no idea that Lacey Peterson existed. And that was pretty much his downfall, really.
Yeah.
Because that's what really kicked off the whole...
And like little things. So she went missing Christmas Eve, and Amber had receipts that on the 9th of December, Scott... Because one of her friends had figured out that he was married. Anyway, so his rationale to Amber was that he'd lost his wife. He was saying that on the 9th of December, the same day that he bought his fishing boat. And then, fast forward, when Amber's confronting him about the whole thing, she's like, hang on a second, but you told me you lost your wife before she was even missing. How does that make sense? And right then and there, I knew that Amber was that bitch. I knew it. She is an icon. It was a great series, and it's quick to watch.
Yeah, it's really quick, and just crazy. And then, like, I love the bit in court when they're playing the recordings of Scott's conversations with Amber, and he's saying, I would never cheat on you. I've never cheated on you in my life. Like, you're the only one. And she's like, dude, you're fucking married. Like, what do you mean you're not cheating on me? Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh my God. The man is just absolutely fucking, like, I don't even know. He's crazy. He just believes his own lies.
He's batshit crazy. Amber deserves all the flowers because she not only, she worked with the police and they like set it up so that she could record her calls with Scott to try, because they wanted to try and capture him confessing, right? Because they thought that he might confess to her. They didn't tell her what to say to him. They didn't like script anything, and she nailed it. Even the police were like, we were so impressed with Amber and what she was saying and what she was able to get out of him. And then her testimony in court as well. She could have very easily broken on the stand, but she held her own, and she is probably the reason that he was found guilty.
Oh, yeah.
She just, an inspiration.
Oh, truly. And
I love her.
Yeah, and she had so much respect for Lacey's family as well. Like, it was just, what a woman.
God bless her.
God bless.
And then, on top of that, Love is Blind UK is out, everyone.
Ladies and gents.
Not only have I watched it, but you've watched it.
Wow.
Wow.
Give me some leave and I make absolute moves.
Dude, we've been booked and busy. I know we've got all this content this week, and next week we'll be
Crickets.
like, let's recite the alphabet.
I'll be like, so let me rehash to you all 14 seasons of SpongeBob SquarePants.
It's all downhill from you guys. So love is
There's an episode where Squidward's like to SpongeBob, I just want you to be normal. And so like SpongeBob learns how to be normal.
stop.
It's just like, hi, how you going? Nice weather we're having today.
That's us next week.
All right, I'll see ya. It's literally a podcast. So good.
Oh,
Hi,
fuck.
how you going?
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, Love is Blind.
So, big fans of Love is
Love,
Blind.
love, love.
And
We love love.
we love love. The first UK season dropped the other week.
Mm-hmm.
All the episodes are out. The reunion comes out this week, which is, I can't wait. So, we both watched it. I have thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Give them to me immediately.
Let's first talk about how different Love is Blind UK is to the US. So,
For starters, chill.
just so chill.
Very chill.
Everyone is in their 30s, or at least most people are in their 30s in this one.
Late 20s, early 30s, yeah.
And everyone just seems to have their frontal lobe developed and
Yeah.
be very secure in themselves,
Yeah.
know what they want.
Yeah.
They're there for the right reasons. And if they have a disagreement with someone or something doesn't go to plan, Coco, they don't react emotionally. It is very much level-headed compared to the US where it's just drama central. This one is just so chill, like, oh, I love you, let's get married. Or, you know what, maybe we're not meant to be together. That's fine. Okay, see you later. So in some aspects, it can come across as maybe a little bit more boring than the US version. But this one was so, you're licking my tit. This version was actually quite heartwarming. Coco,
Yeah.
I need you to get off.
Come here.
I found the UK season to be very wholesome, very heartwarming. I loved pretty much everyone on the show. There wasn't really anyone besides Sam who I wasn't a big fan of. And even then, like, Sam had his issues, but it wasn't enough for me to be like, oh, fuck Sam. Like,
Yeah, I feel like they didn't give him enough time on the show for me to be really pissed off with him. But,
yeah.
But I can imagine Sam being on another reality show and getting picked up somewhere else.
Oh, he would suit like a Love Island.
Yeah, yeah. The only other person that kind of irked me was Kat.
Oh,
Catherine.
yeah. But even then, it's like
but
a
again,
tenth of what like the bad people in the US version.
very mild. Very mild.
So the couples from this season, so reportedly there was actually like 11 engagements.
Yeah.
They only aired 6.
Yeah.
And I think it's, how are you going to show
Give me
11.
52 episodes, my dude. I don't give a fuck. Show me everyone.
like Love is Island UK where there's like a new episode every
yeah.
day?
I'd
Oh
be
my
fine
god,
with that.
they should do it live like
I
Big
would-
Brother.
Just no editing.
No.
Very little.
I'd love that. So the couples from this season were Jasmine and Bobby, Freddie and Kat, Tom and Maria, Demi and Ollie, Nicole and Benaya, and then Stephen and Sabrina. When I saw Stephen come onto my screen,
Oh my God.
that man,
Beautiful.
that's my man.
beautiful, beautiful man.
Gorgeous.
And like so sweet.
So sweet, so lovely. Just the most stunning person with the best personality on my screen.
It's crazy because like I feel like I was triggered in Love is Blind US because every single man on Love is Blind UK is absolutely stunning, and I was like, all right, the pretty ones are going to be absolute cunts.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be jerks. I know that they're going to have their fucking villain arc any moment now.
Never did. I
Nice
was
as
like,
pie, and I was like, what do you mean?
I know. I thought Steven was going to turn around and be an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, remember
Freddie.
when I loved Jeremy and then
Yeah.
Jeremy ended up
Yeah.
being an
Yeah.
idiot? I thought Freddie was going to be the most narcissistic, like,
Yeah.
spits on fat people kind of person. Turns out,
No.
he is actually lovely.
It's so sweet.
I had to take all that back. He was amazing. Bobby, amazing.
Good.
So sweet.
Yeah.
Tom, I loved. I think Tom's lovely. Ollie is the only one where I'm like, there's something about him that I don't trust.
Yeah, I'm the same.
He hasn't done anything to make me not
No.
trust him, but my gut tells me there's something off
Yeah.
there. But all of them were honestly so amazing. So, spoiler, we're going to spoil it.
Sorry.
The people who ended up saying yes at the altar So Stephen and Sabrina went to the altar, and I not only love Stephen, but I equally love Sabrina.
Yeah.
She is so cool.
Yeah, she
and
is.
she went into this and she was like, I don't know if I want to have kids.
Yeah.
I'm 35.
Yep.
If I do end up having kids, I'll be closer to 40 by the time that happens.
Yeah.
Not saying it's completely off the cards because, like, you know, there's adoption and things like that. But there is a good chance that I don't want kids. Stephen initially was like, I really want kids. And then he was like, nah, you know what? Like, it's fine. We'll work it out. People are speculating that they're not going to make it because how do you go from being like, I really want kids to then being like, nah, it's fine if we don't have kids that quickly. So people like, we think that in the back of his mind, he's like, everything else about her ticks the box. So we'll just say yes and
see where it goes.
We'll, like, she might change her mind. They went to the altar. They both ended up saying yes to one another. Yeah. Obsessed with that.
Obviously.
Right? I am a bit nervous for the reunion because I have seen rumors that they don't sit next to each other at the reunion. They also don't follow each other, but that's the same for most of the couples. So I'm wondering if it's just like they're trying to throw us off the scent so we don't know anything before the reunion. I really hope that they're still together.
I hope they are too. They were my favourite couple.
If they don't stay together, love isn't real.
Yeah, facts.
Then you had Nicole and Benaya. So Nicole was interesting because she actually first got engaged to Sam.
Yeah.
And then pretty quickly she was like, something's off about you.
I don't like this.
I don't like this. Tap out.
Yeah.
Then she went back to Benaya and she was like, I made a mistake. I love you. Take me back. Benaya is so sweet. Love him. But he has a like real nomad lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like was technically homeless.
Yeah.
Because he's just always up and traveling. And that makes me a little bit nervous because I think they do have similarities in the way that they're quite spiritual. They love the outdoors and like traveling and stuff. But part of me is like, and she raised this, she was like, is he going to be willing to settle down or is he going to get to a point where he's like, I want to go back to my nomad lifestyle?
Yeah.
They both went to the altar and I'm pretty sure they both said yes. So I think they have a good chance at making it. The biggest tell is going to be, is he willing to not be homeless?
Does he want a roof over his head?
Then we had Demi and Ollie. Obsessed with Demi.
Love Demi. Yeah.
Loved Demi. So they went to the altar, and for Demi this was very much like a journey of self-discovery and like self-confidence. And there was something about Ollie that made me think that he was more about physical appearance than he let on. So they went to the altar and surprisingly Demi actually said no. And when she said no, Ollie's reaction was, what?
Yeah, he was bamboozled. He did not see that coming.
It came across as if he was like, what do you mean you're saying no to me? Like, I almost expected him to be the one to say
same.
no.
I was convinced, yeah.
So that was interesting. I'm kind of glad that she said no because like I said, there's something in my gut that tells me, I don't know.
They just needed more time, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we had Tom and Maria. I personally loved Tom. Tom's persona, and he's got like this very chill, calm way about him. I don't know. I just was eating out of the palm of his hand. When they went to the altar, Tom said no. And his reasoning was because he was like, we needed more time to get to know each other. But one of the reasons was Maria has very like traditional values, I suppose. Like he was saying that if they had kids and they were raising them, she would want the daughter to have the belief that men should be paying for dates and that if they had a boy that he should be paying for dates kind of thing. Whereas Tom had more progressive like views and he was like, if I had kids, I'd want like my daughter to be raised to be very independent, all that kind of stuff. And he was like, we don't really see eye to eye on that at the moment. So for that and like other reasons, I'm going to say no, which I agree with Tom in that instance. But I feel like we heard a lot from Tom's point of view and not a lot from Maria's point of view. So
yeah, agreed.
I would be interested to see what she says at the reunion, because it did feel very heavy on the Tom side. Then we had Freddie and Kat. So Freddie was this gorgeous,
32-year-old funeral director.
just stunning, real pretty boy.
Gorgeous.
And I really thought that he was going to be an arsehole, but he was the sweetest, most pure guy on this series. And Kat, I liked Kat at first, but she kept like pushing Freddie down. I don't know, there was one conversation in particular that they had when they got out of the pods where he was like, if we were to get married, I would most likely want to get a prenup, because if something were to happen to me, I would want everything that I have to go to like my brother, for example, because his brother's got an intellectual disability, and he was like, I want everything to go to my brother. And she got really weird about the prenup situation. And then this got me thinking, what are your thoughts on prenups? Like, if you, let's say hypothetically you were going to marry someone, what would you do?
I wouldn't be against a prenup, but I feel like a prenup should have a time limit. So like, for example, if we're together and we're married for like 5 years, if we divorce before then, or like 10 years, if we divorce before then, or like, then I get nothing.
Yeah.
But if we last longer than that, like my thought is that like, the less that you're together, or like if you don't have a family and stuff, then like, why should I have half of your stuff when like I haven't contributed to that or been a part of that for that period of time? But at the same time, it's like, well, if you've got 2 kids and we've been together for 20 years and then you die suddenly, and then I'm in my 40s and I have to look after these 2 kids by myself, you would expect that there would, like, you know, you've built this family together, you know.
My thoughts on prenups are, if I was to hypothetically marry someone, right, I reckon I would be the one that would want a prenup.
Yeah.
I'm very weird about, I don't really want to get married as it is, right? But I'm very weird. I don't have a lot of stuff.
No.
Right? I'm not saying that I've got all this shit. But what's mine is mine.
Yeah.
I earned that stuff. I built that stuff. I'll be fucking damned if I was to marry someone and then get divorced and then they're like, oh, half of that is mine.
Yeah.
I'd be like, over my dead body it is.
Yeah.
I would want a prenup just as much as I would want my partner to have a prenup. So it's very much like our stuff is separated.
Yeah.
Like no one's taking none of this, because that's not what the marriage is meant to be about. Yeah. Right? It's not about like you taking my money or me taking your money. We keep that separate. Don't fucking touch it, kind of thing. That would be, I think I would be the one to want a prenup.
Not fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, what was I going to say? No, it's gone. It's gone. If I was to be in a marriage, which I can't imagine that, but anyway, very much similar to you, where like I would want my finances to be my finances and his to be his, but we have like a joint account
for like bills and stuff, like
like a mortgage or whatever.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
agree.
But yeah, very much my money's my money, his money's his.
Yeah, like I'm not working my ass off so that you can go and spend my money at Marion. Get fucked.
But also I should be able to do that for this. But if you want to pay for me to get my nails done because it makes me feel good, then
you can gift it to me, but I don't want access to your bank account.
Yeah, no. I don't want a card. I just want you to give me the money.
And then we had, so they went to the altar. Freddie and Kat did, and Freddie said no, which I think was the right thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of the feedback was that Kat was just, of the bunch, she was probably the most immature and the most emotional of the bunch. There's this like Instagram account called like Reality Ashley TV or something like that, or Reality TV Ashley, that I follow. And she had clipped this podcast that Kat had gone on, and Kat was saying that not long after the show finished filming, her and Freddie tried to make it work, and then Freddie broke up with her. And then she's, for the past year since the show's finished, been dating someone, like full lives with them and everything, and he was from the pods. and there's speculation that his name was like Jake or something. It's
Oh.
not Sam. Like
Yeah.
people were speculating. They think it's some other guy. So
Oh.
I'm sure we'll find out about it at the reunion. But she's like seems very happy.
Yeah, there you go.
And then the last couple, Jasmine and Bobby, so sweet. I loved both of them. Jasmine was like this little independent powerhouse, and Bobby was just the sweetest person ever. They were so cute. Jasmine's mum, so intense.
Crazy. She was a lot.
She was very like, she was straight up like, I will be meddling in your marriage.
Yeah.
This is a 3-person marriage.
You have to tell me everything that goes on in your marriage because we're best friends.
Yeah, it was
What?
a lot. Anyway, that's a sign that someone needs to get a hobby. They went to the altar and they both said yes.
Yeah.
So I hope that Stephen, Sabrina, Nicole, Benaya, Jasmine and Bobby are all still together. They all just seemed very genuine and very lovely.
100%. I almost cried in Stephen and Sabrina's vows and Bobby and Jasmine's vows.
Yeah.
They were so sweet.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Very cute.
If any of them break up.
I'll be raging.
Yeah.
It is a very heartwarming, wholesome version of the show. And I think that it is just so different to the US version. Like the US version is just so drama filled. But I love it. I love the US version.
I love both for different reasons.
Yeah, this one makes you believe in love again.
Yeah.
The US one just itches.
Saucy.
That's like scratches that itch of wanting like reality TV drama.
Yeah.
But that's everything that we watched.
It's been renewed for season 2 as well. So
oh hell yeah.
It's back.
God, I hope they do Australia. Come on, guys.
Would you sign up?
I reckon I would.
Would you?
Yeah. Fuck it.
Why not?
Yeah. If I was going to do any reality show, it would be this.
I've changed my mind about the prenup. You've convinced me. Now I want a prenup for the $7 in my bank account. But if we ended up having kids, I would want money to go to the kids.
Yeah. But this is the thing is I think...
Not to me.
I think women perceive prenups to be against women.
Yeah, or like thinking like, oh, he's already wanting to break up with me.
It's not that at all. The way that I perceive it is you don't know someone fully. Yeah. Right? And you don't know what someone's going to be like in 5, 10, 20 years, right? They might be the most perfect person
People murder
now.
for that shit, man.
Scott Peterson.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I would feel more comfortable. The only way that you're going to get me down the aisle is if we do a prenup. And again, I don't have anything, right? But I'll be damned if I was to marry someone and then for whatever reason we divorced and they were like, actually, no, I'm taking half of everything you own. Get fucked. I worked my ass off for that. That's, I think.
Oh, you don't even need a prenup. Just like, don't put them in your will. Make up a will.
No, but you need a prenup.
Do you need a prenup?
Like, yeah, because after 2 years, if you're living with someone, like a long-term partner,
they're entitled to your stuff, aren't they?
They're entitled to your stuff. So it's not about you passing away. It's more about this entitlement.
If you break up, then they get your
Yeah,
bits.
they're entitled to all this stuff, and I don't want that.
Yeah, they get
I do not want that.
Yeah.
So I would absolutely. It is. I think women. Yeah, they think that prenups are against them, but they can be very much for you. You just have to think about it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I think everyone should get a prenup.
We want prenup.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts. It's the only thing Kanye's ever said that's true.
He was on the money with that one.
Yeah.
Damn. Books.
Guys.
Wookies.
Keep up. We've got shit to say.
You thought it was over.
I know. We're
False.
in our reading year again.
Fucking false. You can go first.
Oh, okay. All right. So I read 2 Freida McFadden books this week, everyone. First one I read was Never Lie. So Never Lie is about newlyweds Trisha and Ethan who are searching for the house of their dreams. But when they visit the remote manor that once belonged to Dr. Adrian Hale, a renowned psychiatrist who vanished without a trace 4 years earlier, a violent winter storm traps them at the estate with no chance of escape until the blizzard comes to an end.
Now, I would like it to be heard that both of us read this book. Caitlin read it, and I got it in audiobook because Caitlin ended up reading the book to me in Fiji.
I would read like 3 chapters and then I would make Danika stop what she's
summary.
doing. I would give her a full run.
And then she read the last chapter to me and then summarized the epilogue.
And then when I was reading the next book, which I'll talk about in a second, we were on the flight and you were asleep and so much was happening. And
I'd have one eye open, like just about to wake up, and Kayla would be like, thank God you're awake, I have thoughts. Things have happened in this book and I need to vocalize them. I'm like, okay, you tell me, Joe.
Oh, fuck. I think
thank God you're awake.
That's what I miss about read. Like, I read better when I'm with you because I have someone to be like, oh my God, look at this. Anyway, so they go to this house. While they're in this house, so Trisha is like, she doesn't want to be there at all. And Ethan's very much like, it's fine. Like, we'll work it out. And because the house feels very like haunting. Anyway, so Trisha finds this like secret door or secret bookcase, or this bookcase that leads into a secret room. And in there is all these tapes, like hundreds and hundreds of tapes, where Dr. Adrian Hale had recorded every single one of her patient consults. Yeah, sessions. So she starts listening to them, and the way that they're named, it's like the patient's initials, the session number, and the date. So she's listening to them, and then she starts to like figure out, well, she's trying to piece together why Adrian went missing and what happened to Adrian. And then,
because they never found her body, hey?
They never found her body, and there was speculation that her boyfriend at the time did it, and Trisha was very much like, it was the boyfriend, whatever. Anyway, so as you go through the book, you start to like, it all starts to come together and piece itself together. And I'm going to semi-spoiler alert. So
skip ahead
if you don't want to know. It's a very good book. I gave it 3 stars. So this whole, I reckon like, what was it? The 40% mark. I'm like, I reckon Ethan is Adrian's crazy patient whose initials were like EW or something. And I was like, that's got to be him. It just makes sense. Ethan. And
I remember you got to this bit and you were like, why even bother reading it? It's like I wrote it. I'm just doing it out of respect, really, at this point. I already know what's going to happen.
I said it with my chest. I was so fucking convinced.
You were like, I'll crack the code.
I was like, I figured it out. I reckon my theory was that Ethan was the crazy patient who was like this narcissist and was obsessed with Adrian and was like blackmailing her in this whole thing. And I was like, I reckon that he was threatening her. She disappeared. She's not actually dead. And so he's come back under the guise of like looking to buy this house, and he's going to find her, but then she'll like rise from the dead and end up like killing him or whatever. Right. That was my whole theory. I was so wrong. So you find out. So first of all, there's this person that's like squatting in the house, and they find them. It's Adrian's boyfriend from way back, right? And he's kind of like, oh, when Adrian went missing,
you got me.
I lost my job and like had nowhere to live, so I've just been squatting in her mansion. It was really weird. Anyway, so they tie him up, and when they meet him, they also find this like hidden floorboard compartment in her office. They lift it up. There's a corpse. There's a dead body in there. Anyway, so then you find out later on or whatever that Trisha is actually one of her patients whose name was Patricia. Didn't see that coming. And this woman, she had gone camping or like stayed in this cabin in the forest with her fiance and then 2 friends, right? And allegedly this like crazed murderer had come, broken into the cabin while everyone was asleep and killed everyone, but she survived, right? Then you find out she was the one that killed everyone.
She's the crazy
because her fiance was bussing one of the other people, and then the third person, she was like, well, just by association, I'm going to kill you too.
You're gone.
And then so when Adrian's still alive, this E guy is like fucking crazy. His name ended up being Edward. He was like trying to blackmail her into basically sleeping with him. Wow. Right? So she plots this scene where she's like, I'm going to kill him. It's the only way to get rid of him. It's the only way to stop this from happening.
The natural flow of things.
So because she's figured out that Patricia killed her people, even though she lied about it, she's like, I'll obviously employ Patricia to do it.
She knows what she's doing. She's done it before.
She knows what she's doing.
She is a man of her craft.
So she gets Patricia to kidnap Edward, right? Bring Edward to the house, drugged. Then she's like, I don't need you anymore, Patricia. Leave it with me. Tells Patricia to fuck off. She then murders Edward, right? And then that's who's buried in the floorboards of the house, right? And everyone, because it had been so long, the body's so decayed, people thought that, well, Trisha and Ethan and this Luke guy were like, oh, maybe it's Adrian. But then they were like, nah. Trisha was like, nah, it can't be Adrian because she doesn't wear jeans or something stupid like that. Like, I'm not even kidding you, and that was the reason why it couldn't have been her, because she didn't wear jeans and this person was buried in jeans. And then, so she kills Edward, thinks everything's fine, and then Patricia can't let it go. She's like, I want to know what happened to Edward. What did you do to Edward? I need to know, because like, what if they find us? Like, I need to know that you disposed of the body. Like, Anyway, Adrian wasn't like giving her the answers that she wanted, and she wasn't letting her get involved. So Patricia was like,
got it off you too.
I'll kill you. You're next. So she kills Adrian, buries her body like 2 hours in the buttfuck nowhere. And then she was the one who plotted that she like moved to New York, met Ethan, had this whole life, and then she saw that they were like looking for houses, and she saw this house come up. She was like, I'll go find Edward's body. So that's why she went, and she'd like organized it for when there was going to be a snowstorm, so that she knew that they would be stuck there for a few days. She'd have time to try and find the body. It was this whole thing. Anyway, it was twisty and it was interesting, but I would say The Teacher, which I read next.
Oh, so much better. So much better. My favorite thing about Freida McFadden is that like every character, one minor inconvenience, they're like, I gotta kill someone. Fact. Someone must die.
That's my only solution.
Today, someone must die. Maybe we just think about, just sleep on it.
I know.
Just think it through.
Yeah. Yeah. Over the most like minor inconvenience, they're like death. Yeah. Immediate death. Yeah. So then I read the Teacher, and I feel like The Teacher just, I don't know if I'd given up, because I was so adamant that I knew what was happening and never lie, and that I was so wrong. Or this one was just better written, but I did not see any of what happened in The Teacher.
Yeah, I feel like this one was more like, I don't know, different kind of twisty.
So The Teacher was about how the blurb of it is, something isn't right at Kasem High School. Last year, the school was rocked by a scandal. A teacher was accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a student. Now, Addie, who was the student that apparently had the inappropriate relationship, Addie is a pariah and will do anything to get through the year. More than that, she's desperate to keep the truth from coming to light. Evie, a colleague of the disgraced teacher, is horrified to find Addie in her class. She knows the girl can't be trusted and soon realizes she's being watched, which is dangerous, considering she's hiding something from her husband. But each has secrets about what happened last year, and someone in this school will do anything to keep them silent. So, 3 main characters. You've got Addie, the school student, who allegedly hooked up with this really old, crusty teacher, right? And she's like, nah, nothing happened. It's fine. Then you've got Evie, who is the maths teacher, and she doesn't like Addie because she's like, you set up this other teacher, like, you're fucked. And then you got Evie's husband, the English teacher. And then I can't remember his name. It's so not relevant. So you start this book being so fixated on, did Addie hook up with the teacher?
The crusty, dusty man.
Or like, did something else happen? And you really think that that's where the storyline, like, something's going to happen with that. Then she gets really close with the English teacher, who obviously is very hot. And this is the other thing with Freida McFadden books. The man is always like the most gorgeous person you've ever laid your eyes on. Like, crafted by the hands of God. And then the woman that he's married to is just so plain and dusty and gross and just like, how could she ever be with him? Or how could he ever be with her? So the English teacher is obviously really hot, and apparently he's like the top of the like hot list by all the girl students every single year, which is weird in itself. So he gets really close with Addie, and at first it's coming across as like he just feels really bad for her, and he's being really sympathetic because everyone's being really nasty to her over these like allegations, including his wife. So he's always sticking up for her. And then Addie gets caught in maths class cheating on a test, and Evie was going to report her to the principal, but then her husband talked her out of it. Addie finds out that he talked her out of it, and so she's like so grateful that she hugs him. They're just like in his classroom. There's no class going on. It's like between classes. She hugs him. He gets a boner. It's so fun. I can't believe I said that. That was disgusting. He gets
First sexy picture. Damn, you're on a roll, girl.
He gets a hard on. And she's like, whoa. And he's like, oh my God, that was so inappropriate. I'm so sorry. And then she like leaves. And then she's like thinking to herself, he got a hard on for me. Oh my God.
This man loves me.
This man, the hottest teacher in school, who all the girls fawn over, he loves me. So she goes back to be like, didn't hate that. And then he's like, no, like it's so inappropriate. Like, I just can't stop thinking about you. Like, you do something to me. And he was like, but it's so inappropriate of me. And she was like, but what if I wanted it? So then they start hooking up, right? And then they start hooking up after school every day in the photography, like, dark room. And then...
Damn.
So that's happening. And she's just lost her marbles, where she's like, he's saying stuff to her like, you're my soulmate. Can you believe that? Like, how cruel is the universe that I'm 38 and my soulmate is 16? Like, you can't tell anyone because people won't understand. He's like writing poetry to her and shit. It's like, you can just, and she's eating it up. She was like, oh my God, no one would understand. Oh my God. And then one day, so there's this like really popular girl at school and she's bullying Addie to like no ends. And she goes to like tip her lunch over and she sees the poem that the teacher's written for her. No one can tell who's written this poem because it doesn't say, but she like has this like visceral reaction to it. And then later on, Addie decides, you know what's going to be a great idea? If late at night I am found out the front of my teacher's house and Evie thinks that she's like stalking her because she hates her and she's like trying to kill her kind of thing. But she was actually just there because she's in love with Evie's husband. All the while, Evie's having an affair with the shoe salesman at the shoe store.
Who is the student?
Who turns out to be, we'll get to that. Hold your horses, everyone. And so...
She's bussing a shoe man. Just keep it at that for now.
She's bussing a shoe man, right? She has this like weird shoe fetish. Addie gets caught. So then Addie, the English teacher's like to Addie, we need to just call it off because all eyes are going to be on us because you're a fuckhead and came in and you were caught in my front yard.
You ruined it.
You ruined it, you idiot.
Ruined the fun.
You ruined it. So then she's like freaking out because he's not replying to her on Snapchat. He's like not talking to her. It's like this whole thing.
A 40-year-old man on Snapchat. Sorry, I would die.
I know. And do you know what they call Snapchat in the book Snapfish?
It should be called Snapfish.
It's so
I love
gross.
Snapfish.
And so
Snapfish.
She corners him in his classroom, like when he doesn't have a class and he's just marking papers. They start kissing naturally. But then what they don't realise is Evie had gone to go see him about something, saw them hooking up in the classroom and took a photo. This is on a...
Snapfish.
She snapfished them. This is on a Friday. They go home. Well, Evie goes home. She gets drunk. Her husband then comes home later and she confronts him. She's like, you're a nonce. You are a nonce. She's like, I'm going to tell everyone that you're a nonce. And he's like, please don't do that. I will do whatever you want. Yeah. Just don't tell anyone. She's like, you need to break up with her. We're getting a divorce. You're moving out. I get the house. And you need to quit your job.
Yeah.
And he's like, the fuck I do. So anyway.
How will I be a nonce without my job?
Pretty much what he said. So then he leaves. And then Evie's like sitting on her couch later that night and she hears a noise in the kitchen. She goes in the kitchen. Addie's in there. Because Addie's whole thing was because she knew that the teacher knew that Evie knew. So she was like, I'm going to go talk her out of breaking me and the love of my life up. She doesn't get it. She don't get that we're soulmates. She's just this miserable old cow. Goes in there. They have a confrontation. Addie doesn't like where the conversation's going. So naturally she picks up a fry pan and beats her over the head with it 3 times.
Like, you've got to die.
She was like, the only solution to what is happening right now is if you were dead. So she does that. Calls the husband. And is like, I've just killed your wife. You need to come. You need to come fix it. So he comes over. He's like, don't worry.
Imagine getting that call. The fuck am I helping you?
Right.
Bitch, you're on your own.
Like, BRB while I add Sapole to this call.
You know who will be able to help? The police.
So then he comes over. He's like, go get some sheets. They're upstairs. We need to wrap the body because we need to bury it. So then she goes upstairs. While she does that, Evie starts to come too. And he's like, well, we didn't come this far to only come this far.
She's only just gone up and got the sheets.
I'm going to choke you to death. So he chokes her, right? Knocks her out. They take her. They set up this whole thing. But the way that he'd set it up was that so that if the police investigated it, Addie would be the one that was caught. She's going to be on all the cameras. Her DNA's in like the wife's car, all this kind of stuff.
He's calculated.
He thinks he's so fucking smart. He thinks he's like him and Scott Peterson would get along.
Yeah. Besties.
So then they go and bury her, whatever. The English teacher abandons Addie there because he was like, fuck you. We're done. Abandons her. The wife ends up coming back to life. She like crawls,
a second time.
Crawls out of the fucking grave.
Encore. Second encore.
Yeah. And then, anyway, so the whole thing, fast forward, she ends up surviving. The dude gets arrested. She gets helped by Evie gets helped by the dude that she's having an affair with, who, plot twist, ends up being Addie's best friend, who she's had a crush on this whole time. Like, they grew up together. He's the quarterback at the school and he just works as a shoe salesman outside of school. And that's who Addie was like hooking up with. Not Addie. Evie was hooking up with this whole time.
Did Evie know that?
This is the thing that everyone's really weird about because they're like,
if you were a teacher at a school, you'd know the quarterback.
Exactly. Because it's perceived as though she doesn't know because he's like making it seem like he's married with a baby kind of thing.
How old does this man look?
Right. But it's like, you would have to know. He's a student at your fucking school. Yeah. Like, you would know. Anyway, so that's one qualm that people have with the book. But then, when you think all the plot twists have plot twisted, you find out that the poem... Because you find out that the English teacher had also been hooking up with the popular girl when she was like 14, so 2 years prior. And he'd written the poem for her. That's why she freaked out about the poem. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
Because turns out the wife, Evie... The poem was originally written for her because he met her when she was underage. She was a high school student and he was like just out of college and became a teacher. And so...
A lifelong nonce.
It's just a web of nonces, really. This one had more twists and turns than Never Lie, I would say.
Yeah.
Even The Housemaid. So I gave this 4 stars and I gave Never Lie 3 stars.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I have also read Middle of the Night by Riley Sager, but you're halfway through reading that. So we're going to wait until next week to talk about that one.
We'll review that next week. Mine are not as fun as that, so sorry guys. But I read The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. Oh, love that. Thanks, Coco.
Facts.
Yes. Oh. Girl,
she's got shit to say.
She's like, fucking hated that book. So The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. So this is the blurb. Early morning, August 1975, a camp counselor discovers an empty bunk. Its occupant, Barbara Van Laar, has gone missing. Barbara isn't just any 13-year-old. She's the daughter of the family that owns the summer camp and employs most of the region's residents. and this isn't the first time a Van Laar child has disappeared. Barbara's older brother similarly vanished 14 years ago, never to be found. As a panic search begins, a thrilling drama unfolds, chasing down the layered secrets of the Van Laar family and the blue-collar community working in its shadow. Now, this is a thriller, but it's like over 500 pages long.
Which is mind-blowing to me. That was like fucking Kingdom of Ash.
Yeah, like if you're not a fantasy book, I don't know why you need that much detail.
No, thrillers should be 350 pages and I should be able to churn you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of a thriller.
Yeah, exactly. Like, get to the point. I don't want too much fluff. Like, I don't need you to explain what the day feels like,
No,
you know.
Yeah.
But reading it, like, Liz Moore wrote this really well. Like, I really do like her writing style. It is very similar in, like, descriptiveness to Stephen King. Like, very, very detailed. Very detailed. Heaps of different point of views that span across, I think it's almost like, it would be like almost 20 years. So if you don't really like a multiple point of view story, and it also isn't always linear, so it jumps back and forth.
Yeah, okay.
So it does take a bit to wrap your head around where you are in which chapter and who you are. Like, every time I'd be like, who the fuck is Tracy? There were so many characters. I was just like, I can't keep up. But yeah, really enjoyed how it was written despite how long it was. But the twist just wasn't like super jaw-dropping. Like, it was a pleasant read. It would be a really good like summer read or like a holiday read, but just, yeah, it wasn't anything groundbreaking in terms of the twist. But all of the loose ends are kind of tied up. You don't really have any questions towards the end, so it's nice. It's okay. It had an average rating of 4.3 on Goodreads, and a lot of people on TikTok rave about this book, but I think I ended up giving it like a 2.5 or a 3.
I think it was like, if it wasn't as long as it was, you probably would have liked it more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my feel.
Yeah, agreed. So, yeah. If you want a long thriller, then go for your life. The other one I read, which is on Kindle Unlimited, is The Other Passenger by J.E. Rowney. Now, J.E. Rowney is a woman. I thought it was a man.
There you go.
I don't know.
The more you know.
Just assumed from the writing style, which is really crazy.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
I thought Riley Sager was a girl.
Yeah. See, happens to the best of us. Anyway, this is the blurb. On the run from their pasts, a man and a woman are forced together by the weather and by necessity. When a radio news broadcast reports that a body has been found further back along the road on which they are travelling, tensions rise, and it's only so long before the truth must come out. But the truth is never quite what you imagine. Except it actually is, because the twist is so fucking predictable. Like, I gave this, if I could give this book like half a star, I would. I gave it 1 on Goodreads. The book is told from the point of view of both the main characters, so Emma and David. And it's in the present and then also in the past, so it kind of shows you what leads up to them being in the same car together. Couldn't give less of a fuck about Emma, so she's the female main character. And her rationale for being out that night makes absolutely no fucking sense. So I'm going to spoil it because no one needs to fucking read this book. No offense, respectfully. Respectfully. So Emma's sister, Angelique, dies a year ago to the day. And she's like, to feel closer to my sister, to kind of understand what she was going through, I'm going to retrace her steps the night that she was murdered. So they were both drinking at a bar on the night that she was murdered, and Angelique wanted to stay for one more drink, and Emma was like, no, I have work tomorrow, I need to go home. So Emma goes home, Angelique stays. She starts walking and tries to hitchhike a ride with someone to get back home, and the person that she hitchhikes with ends up killing her.
Okay.
So that's what happens. So Emma's like, I'm going to drive around this like isolated area where Angelique was and just, you know, try to be closer to her. I don't know. That made no fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck are you driving in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
Like, what's that going to do? I don't know. I don't know if that's like, I don't know, like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for
It
is.
just seems like a weak storyline.
Yeah.
Come up with a better reason.
Yeah. And then David, the main male character, was fucking insufferable as well. So the whole book, he kept talking about how underappreciated he felt at work, how his wife and his daughter didn't appreciate all the things that he does at home. So he's like this mid-40-year-old man, and he works at this company, and he's going to an award show that night, and he's convinced that he's winning this award. So this award is like this prestigious, it only comes around every decade. He gets a 10 grand bonus with it. I'm like, that's not really that much, but anyway. He's like, this will be the pinnacle of my career. Like, it'll prove to my wife that I'm a somebody, that like, you know, all of this hard work is like going towards something. And he's talking about how he's missed like all of these pivotal moments in his family's life because he's been at work, and he has like over 3 months worth of leave stocked up because he just does this much fucking overtime. And then there's this guy that's been at the company for, I think, 3 years. And he's like this smarmy piece of shit, and David just hates him because like he thinks he's top shit and his shit don't stink, and like he thinks he's doing all this work, but really it's David that's saving the company, or so he thinks. Yeah. Anyway, he goes to this awards night. His wife Amanda was meant to come, but she's like, no, I'm just going to stay at home with our daughter instead. We'll get takeout. We'll have a girls' night. It'll be fun. And so David really wants her to go, but he doesn't want to cause a fight. So because he's a fucking pushover. So he's like, fine, whatever. Here, take my credit card, take my wallet, whatever. And so she's like, thank you. And then boosts. So he goes to the awards night. He's feeling really alone because like all of the men are with their wives and they're all mingling.
Oh, yeah.
Woe is me. And he's like, and he hasn't prepared a speech, and he's like really anxious about what he's going to say when he gets the award. He sits at the table, and the other guy, Michael, he's like making all of these snide comments about David's wife, Amanda. And then he says something that like, all that you've got is what I've got as well.
That's random.
And so David's like, what the fuck do you mean by that? That's crazy. And then like Michael's like, oh, like it's I was really looking forward to seeing Amanda tonight. It's a shame she's not here. All of these things. Anyway. So David's like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to get this award. You're not. And then the guy goes up to the stage. He's like, and the award goes to, it goes to Michael, doesn't it? Of course it fucking goes to Michael. And so David's fucking fuming. And so he is like, I'm going to make an early exit. I don't need to be here. I should text Amanda and tell her what happened, whatever. And so he texts Amanda when he's outside. And then while he's outside, he notices Michael having a cigarette. And so Michael comes over because he spots David, and David's like, either I can walk away or I can confront him. Mm-hmm. And so Michael says something, and David's like, well, it's out of my hands. Michael decided it for me. We're going to have a confrontation. Mm-hmm. One thing leads to another, and Michael admits that he's been sleeping with Amanda. And then David just ends up fucking clocking him one. Keeps clocking him, and then he's on the ground, and then David is like, oh, he's not moving. That's a bit weird. He's like, Michael, hello, dead. He like, his jacket slips, Michael's jacket slips, and he notices that he was holding the award. And because the award was like, I don't know, sharp or something, it cut his jugular.
Oh, as it does.
I mean, you know, just one thing led to another. It wasn't his fault. The award killed him,
Very
technically.
Freida McFadden for the immediate response to be like, let's kill him.
Yeah. And so he's like, well, what am I going to do? So he packs up the body into his boot and he's driving, and he's like, I need to go away. I need to think. I need to get my thoughts straight. I need to figure out what I'm doing.
I need to go on a retreat.
Yeah, literally. And then, so we go back to Emma. So Emma's driving. She's driving down this isolated road, and she sees a girl that's trying to hitchhike. And she's like, this is what happened to Angelique a year ago. I'm going to pick this girl up and I'm going to make sure that she's safe. Mm-hmm. Anyway, because it's such a similar situation to Angelique, this girl's like just looking for a ride to go to this place because she had a fight with her roommate or something. And Emma's like, oh, like this road's really unsafe. Like, you know, what happened a year ago, blah, blah, blah. And the girl that she picks up, she's like, yeah, I want to go to like this lookout because my mum said that it's a good place to think and I just need to get my thoughts straight. And then Emma's like, oh, well, like, can you meet your mum there just so that like you're with someone? And she's like, no, my mum died 6 years ago. Like, I don't think she'd have anything to say about the situation because she's fucking dead. And that triggers Emma because for the past year, Emma's been calling and like pretending to talk to Angelique on the phone.
That's another common theme in thriller books. Sorry.
Yeah.
They love to ring the dead.
Don't they? Don't they?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And then she's like, no, like I talk to my sister all the time. She died a year ago, blah, blah, blah. And the girl's like, respectfully, I don't think she's fucking listening. She's gone. And Emma's like, the fuck she is. And then the other girl's like, okay, you're fucking crazy. Can you pull over so that I can get out? I'd rather walk than be in the car with you. So she pulls up and then the girl gets out and she starts running because she's like, fuck this bitch. This girl's fucking crazy. And then Emma's running after her and she's like, stop, please. Like, I'm sorry. Like, please just come back in the car, whatever. She's running quicker. It's obviously raining because it's a thriller. Mm-hmm. She slips. She hits her head on a boulder. She's fucking dead. Emma goes to the body, clocks it, she's dead. She's like, oh my God, I've killed her. Holy fuck, the police are going to find me. They're going to find me in this torrential rain. They're going to see my tracks. They're going to clock my car. They're going to, I'm gone. I'm done.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, either I leave her or I call the cops. Obviously she leaves her. And she's like, now I need to get rid of my vehicle. I need to get rid of my vehicle because if they can't find the vehicle, they can't find me. Also with that, if the police find the vehicle, they're going to find the registration. They're going to know it's registered to you.
Yeah, they're going to be like, why the fuck did you like...
Dumb.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she veers it off this side road that's isolated as well or whatever, and she leaves it there. And then she's walking in the rain. She's trying to hitchhike. Mm-hmm. David comes by. She hitches a ride with him. They're riding for a bit. Police come. He asks questions. It's apparently really suspenseful, but it's not. Like, you know, whatever. Police leave. And then David's like, oh, I really need to get gas.
Okay.
I need petrol. I need a coffee. I need to think. I need to get rid of you. So we'll take you to the gas station and then you can call whoever you need to get help. She obviously hasn't told him anything about what happened that night, but she's just like, I just need to...
Yeah. I still don't understand why she needed to get rid of her car because how would the police know it's
I
her?
know.
She didn't hit her with the car.
And it's raining. Your tracks are going to be gone by morning anyway.
Yeah, no one saw you.
Exactly. No one drove past.
Anyway,
and like
going.
The author like made note that no one drove past it. I was like, that makes no fucking sense. Anyway. So he's like, he had a realization. He's like, oh, fuck, I left my wallet and my card with my wife back at home. Are you able to pay for the gas and I'll transfer you? Yeah. Give me your details and I'll transfer you. Like, I will pay you back. It's fine. And she's like, no, I can't because then they'll be able to trace me and then they'll catch me. Like, I can't do that. I'm sorry. And he's like, if you can't help me, I can't help you. I will leave you here in the middle of nowhere. I don't give a fuck. If you don't pay for my gas...
He's using like finger guns.
Yeah, literally. Like, you're dropped.
Yeah.
And then, so he pulls up to this lookout because he's like, we need to have a chat. Like, you need to tell me what's going on because you're obviously running from something. Yeah. And she's like, cool, calm and collected. She's like, yeah, fine. So he pulls over the car. They both get out of the car. And then she is like, okay, I'll tell you what happened. And then she like goes to put her hand in her jacket and to David it looks like she's going to pull out like a weapon or something, but she just pulls out her fist and clocks him. And then she like hits him in his windpipe, like actually punches him in the fucking throat, and he gets winded and he's like seeing stars and shit. And then apparently for the last year, she's been taking self-defense classes so that if a man approaches her, she knows how to take a man down, like a fully grown man.
Sorry, I just picture her with her hand in her thing and then she just pulls that out.
Yeah, literally.
I'm going to do that as a party trick.
And he's like, what the fuck is going on? And he's like, he's winded, he's confused, he has no idea what's going on. And she like opens his car door, puts his head in the car door and just slams it. And he's gone. R.I.P. David. And then she goes to put his body in the boot. She opens the boot. Michael's in the boot.
It's like, hang on a second.
She's like, there's no fucking room. She's like, what are the odds of 2 serial killers being in the same car? That's crazy.
What do you mean he died from her like slamming his head in the door once?
Putting your head in a jacket. Surprise!
Dead. That's so like it's So dumb. Yeah, okay.
And then so she's like, oh God, I've got 2 bodies. 3 if you're counting the girl down the road.
Yeah. That's true.
I'm fucked. So she gets her phone. By the way, on this drive, neither of them had reception, so neither of them could make calls.
Yeah.
So she has reception at the place, at the lookout that they're at now. She calls police. She tells police that she's found 3 dead bodies.
As you do.
But there's only 2, right? Because the girl down the road is already been called by police.
Ah.
So they're already trying to suss it out. Right? She's like, there's 3 bodies, gives them an exact location, and they're like, yep, police will be around, whatever. She leaves her phone next to David's body, which is slumped up by the boot of the car or the side of the car, whatever. She walks off to the end, jumps. Dead.
What?
Everyone died at the end. Dead.
Like, sometimes you can kill too many people in a book. And this is one of those instances where, like,
all happened in like 200 pages. It was a very short book.
Jesus Christ.
But it was just so monotonous, and like how she wrote the book was just so tedious. Like, you think that you would feel really like anxious and claustrophobic while reading the book because it's set in the car. You know that both of them aren't really, like, something's going on with both of them. You don't really know what's going on. But honestly, it was more suspenseful being in that taxi going to our resort in Fiji. That's what it was, reading this book. And just, fucking waste of time.
I only read the first, like, 5 or so pages. And even I was really struggling to get through those first 5 pages.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you read it on my behalf.
Wow. Yeah.
That's fucked.
No.
I'm going to read next Outback that Hannah recommended by Patricia Wolf, because that is on Kindle Unlimited, and so is the second one, Paradise. So I'm going to read that. I was going to read The Other Passenger, but we're not doing that no more. I'll be reading Outback because Hannah said that was really good.
Stunning. And yeah, I'm reading Middle of the Night. So
we'll talk about Middle of the Night next week.
Yeah.
But if you're looking for a thriller to read this. It is so good. I really think you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah.
I gave it 5 stars just so everyone knows.
Okay. Interesting. I'm intrigued already. I'm like, I feel like something's on with Ethan's mum and the Fritz guy.
Okay.
Something's a bit suspicious there.
Interesting.
Yeah. With how she lost her job and stuff. I'm like,
okay.
But yeah, there we go. And then in sporting news, guys, we still have more to talk about. I'm so sorry.
This is like an 8-hour episode.
Will not stop.
Next week's episode will be 20 minutes.
Literally. Footy finals start next week. I haven't even checked to see who won today's games. But
let's see.
The bottom 8 is really close, so it was kind of determined by who wins and loses between the Bulldogs, Freo, and Carlton. So
okay, so
it was down to points.
But
Collingwood just missed out of the top 8, which is
so Bulldogs and GWS have played. The final score 98-61. Bulldogs way.
Stop.
Yep. Freo and Port have not played yet. Carlton and St Kilda are playing as we record.
That's crazy.
It's currently quarter 3 and St Kilda are up by 20.
Damn. Wow, I can't believe Bulldogs pulled it out.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wow. Crows played last night. Lost by, I think it was like 30 odd points.
They're currently 15 of 18 on the ladder.
Yep.
What a team.
But Nankervis kicked his first goal in last night's game.
There you go.
Me and Nikki were watching a movie and like we were checking the stats on the AFL app and we were like, what's he doing inside the 50? What are you doing there, son?
Dull.
But yeah, he kicked one from the 50.
Just like we would.
And outside of us two, not a lot of people can do that. So
Facts.
promote that man. And then also Rachele.
Let's quickly talk about Rachele.
Yeah, Josh Rachele.
So leading up to the showdown, the recent showdown, Rachele had made a comment about Port Adelaide fans having no teeth.
Which is very dated. Like, I feel like, come on, it's 2024.
I'm like, it's just an easy jab.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I've heard it, even
Yeah.
I've heard it a million
Yeah.
times kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
Port fans are bogans kind
Yeah.
of thing. So he'd make that comment. And then during the game, he'd kicked a goal. This was very early in the game as well. He'd kicked a goal and then run up to the like crowd and was pointing in his mouth, like insinuate, like leaning into that whole joke, right? Which, if you were winning, if you were smashing Port, it probably wouldn't have been such a big deal. Like, you know, whatever. They lost. They got fucking pummeled by Port, which makes it look like, dude, you look like an idiot now. Anyway, so since then, he got dropped. He wasn't, like, when they say he got dropped, like, he just wasn't meant to play, right?
Yeah. In this week's game. The last game of the season for the Crows.
Yeah, he got dropped for the last game of the season, and it was essentially, the club was saying it was because the values and the standards that we're looking to uphold consistently, like Josh didn't meet that. We've spoken to him. It was an isolated event, whatever. He just needs to kind of pull his head in a little bit, and that's why. I agree.
Yeah, I also agree.
I think you're only what? He's like 21.
Yeah.
You're only 21. I get it. You're a good player.
Yeah.
You're a fucking good player.
He just made 22 under 22 as well.
But there's something about having a bit of like humility.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like, again, if Port had been berating you and then you guys pummeled Port, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. But you proactively came at Port.
Bro, we're 15th on the ladder. Let's just sit with that for a little moment.
Yeah, I think I think, and this all comes with age, I think, a little bit as well. There's a reason why you don't see like your Tex Walkers and all of those doing shit like that, because the game should speak for itself.
Absolutely celebrate your goal and your wins, like, but you don't need to like bring other fans into it. It's
just childish, and you're feeding into like the whole Port fans love a bit of beef. You're feeding into it. It's not a good look for you when you're having a really great career right now. And like, what do you want to be remembered for or known for?
Yeah.
Do you want to be known for being a really kick-ass fucking player who's only 21 and killing it?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be known as that cocky kid on the field who makes crazy gestures towards opposing teams in the same game that you get pummeled by?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people aren't going to talk about you being a great player. They're going to be talking about how you were a fuckhead on the field.
Yeah, exactly.
And he just needs to think about that. But I think I think it's an age thing more than anything, to be honest.
I think it's a good thing that the club are calling out that kind of behaviour, though, because
it's the only way you learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when you're that young, you're like, I'm fucking great at what I do.
I'm invincible.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, it had to happen. So, I think it would be good to see him come back next season with a bit more of a level head about him. Don't let the fans and all of that get to your head so much. Focus on the game.
You do you, honey boo.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And in other news, AFLW starts next week, boys and girls.
Hell fucking yeah. And we're kicking things off with a bang. Because we are the AFLW. We've decided.
We have finalised the fixture.
That's correct. Finalised the fixture. And things are kicking off with a bang because Saturday is the first game of the season for the Crows and Port.
31st of August, ladies and gents.
And we're kicking it off with a fucking showdown.
A showdown to kick off the season. Are you kidding?
At Alberton Oval at 7:10.
Yep.
We will be there. Front row.
Yep.
I need to order us blonde.
I was just going to say we need to get our costume ready.
Yeah, we need... Surprise. We will... Yeah, let's order that after this.
Yeah.
Everyone has to come. We're going to be taking 12-time digital Zoom or Zoom, 12 times Zoom digital photos
Yep.
of Jess and every single person on the team,
And scouting for girlfriends.
and scouting for Girlfriend League. So we'll see you there.
Everyone needs to be there, to be honest.
I've never been to Alberton. I couldn't tell you where it is.
Port Adelaide, I reckon.
Can't wait for that.
Said it was owned by Port Adelaide Enfield. So I'm assuming that's that way, which makes sense because Port Adelaide, you know?
Road trip.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that bread. I'm excited.
Same.
The good times keep on
Same.
rolling. And everyone, it's Virgo season. September's around the corner, which means the AFL Grand Final is around the corner, which means summer's here.
The footy grand final is the first event of Brat Summer.
It is. It's like...
It's the inauguration.
Yeah, it's like the launch party
Yeah.
for summer.
Yeah.
It's our launch party. So we're still up in the air about what we're doing for it.
Yeah,
But
we're not too sure yet.
we'll see.
Really quick as well, in Formula One, next year Australia has another rep on the grid. Jack Doohan was announced this week as Alpine's newest driver for next season, partnering with Pierre Gasly. So he replaces Esteban Ocon, who is moving to Haas next season.
Nice.
So Doohan is 21 and he's the son of the 5-time motorcycle world champion Mick Doohan. And he has been a reserve driver for Alpine since last year after Oscar Piastri, who's also Australian, left for McLaren.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's still a couple of seats left for contention and Daniel Ricciardo hasn't been named yet. Yeah.
I don't think he's coming back, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. It's between him and... I can't even remember the other guy's name. It's between him and another guy for the last seat, the second seat in the Red Bull team. Visa, whatever the fuck they're called now.
I just don't see... Like, Daniel Ricciardo in sport world is old.
He hasn't had results.
No.
Or the results that he needed to prove himself this season, that he's still got some kick.
No.
Which is upsetting because I love Daniel Ricciardo.
Great guy. I think you'll see him around. I think he'll still be doing shit, but he just won't be driving.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be a F1 personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yes. Yes. Anyway, I think finally we can let you guys go.
We've said all of our thoughts now.
We've
Let me
said
just see if I have any more thoughts in my
all
head.
of
No.
them. Real quick, did you ever do the beep test in high school?
Did you see Riley's
school?
TikTok?
Yeah. What was your highest
I don't
score?
think oh no, I think I did do the beep test, but I dropped out after like the second beep.
I reckon we had a rule where like we couldn't drop out until like you hit 3. And I reckon I got to 3.2 and I was like, yes, yeah. That looks real
I
hard.
didn't even try. I saw her talking about how she was going to do it. I haven't seen her actually do it.
At the end of the first one, she's like, yeah, I reckon we get to like the high of the average. So like 10s or 9s or 10s. She gets to 3. Just like, this is fucked.
Yeah, no, I reckon I did it once and I dropped out immediately. I was like, this is not for me. It's not my journey. It's not who I am.
Crazy.
I'm going to leave this to everyone else.
Now that's all of my thoughts.
Great. Now we're going to have to do the beep test, aren't we?
Yep.
Fun.
Naturally.
Oh, man. All right. I hope everyone enjoyed this 8-hour long
Thank you
episode.
so much for coming on this journey with us.
And we will see you next week for what will likely be a much shorter episode.
A silent episode.
Because we'll be back at work and so we'll only have 2 things to talk about.
Exactly.
No, that's not true. We'll have heaps to talk about.
Yeah.
We'll find stuff.
Always. We always do, Joe. Alrighty. Love you. Bye.
Bye.